Welcome, everyone. We are going to be talking about something that's interesting to me. And so while we're waiting, go ahead and share this with somebody. Let them know that I am live. And also just drop some hearts in the comments as well. Let me know that you're here, that you can hear me and see me. And we're about to go ahead and get started in just a second. I'm going to make sure this is being shared everywhere that I need it to be shared. And then we're going to go ahead in today's topic. We're talking about the secret to being pursued, chosen, and remembered. And it's going to be such a great topic. So I'm excited to get into this. Let me just make sure this is being shared in my Facebook group. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. Let me know if this is your first live stream or if you've been on a live stream with me before. Say hello. Just begin to share and say something to me in the chat so I know that you're here and that you're able to see everything. I am excited to be able to go live today. Hey Instagram, hey TikTok, hey YouTube, Facebook. This is going to be a good one. And so I'm excited. Say hi as you come on in. We're going to start in just a second. I just want to make sure I've shared this everywhere I need to go. If you see me looking over this way, it's because I'm on YouTube and Facebook, and I've also got my notes over here as well. And so we're going to get into that today. So today's conversation is around this idea of what it looks like to be remembered. I think being remembered is going to be one of the main things that we're going to talk about today, and we're going to really tap into that. I also want to share with you that our 21-day experience has already started, and we're going to get into that in just a second. Please do say hello. Let me see you in the comments saying hello. Say hi as you come on in. And I'm also going to pin something as well. Let me see if I can do that here. Let me see. Don't think I can do that on. I'm still learning TikTok, so I'm not. Oh, let me see. Can I comment? Yes, I can comment. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm going to put the link here for our 21-day experience, and so you're going to see it here on Instagram as well. So just bear with me 1 second. We are going to get started shortly. I've got to make sure I do all the admin things first. And here we go. Magnetize in March. I made a super easy link for you all. There we go. Let me see if I can pin this pin, and let me go ahead and do the same here. Welcome, everybody. I pray everybody's doing well and having a great Tuesday so far. I'm not going to be before you long, famous last words of a preacher. But say hi as you come on in. Please do say hello. It's so good to see you all here. Magnetize in March. This is what we are in right now. Let me see if I can pin it on Facebook. Yep, Instagram. Okay, all pinned. And on YouTube and Facebook, you can see the comment just coming right across your screen right now. So today we've got a super great hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, Instagram. Hi, TikTok. Hi, Facebook and YouTube. Okay, well, let's get into what we want to talk about today. So today, we're going to talk about this idea of being pursued, chosen, and remembered. I feel like it's a super important trait of a godly feminine woman. And my name is Rachel-Yvonne, and I am your godly femininity mentor. I love to help women of all ages who are high standards, high value, high caliber women understand how they can be the woman of their own dreams. So it's about knowing what your dreams are, pursuing those things, and allowing life to pursue you in return. Okay, so we're going to be talking about a few different things. I'm going to share some examples from scripture as well as a few other examples, and then we're going to wrap up. We're going to be on here about 20-ish minutes, and I'm excited to get into today's topic. All right, let's go. So the women who are pursued, deeply chosen, and unforgettable do not move like everybody else. I think this is something that we need to understand. You don't move like everybody else. There is this idea of moving like the woman who knows who she is. And oftentimes we're not sure what that even looks like. But at the same time, you need to know that being the best version of yourself is what is going to get you the best results. Let me say that one more time. Being the best version of yourself is what is going to bring you the best results that you desire. And here's what's important is that every single one of us has different desires. And that's what I love about us. We've all been created uniquely and different. And therefore, we will show up in the world differently. There's an energy that a woman has when she knows who she is. I say this all the time because it's true. There is an energy that a woman has when she knows who she is. She doesn't just show up as anybody and anything. She shows up as the best version of herself. And when you know this, you're going to see this shift things in your life, shift the way you show up, shift your energy in relationships, every area of your life, not just in the relationship, love, dating space. And although that's where typically most of the people that come to me typically want to talk about that the most, and which is fine, and I totally get it. But what I understand is that it's not actually about that. It is about understanding that how I do one thing is typically how I do many other things. A wise woman told me that many, many years ago. Gina DeVee, I remember her saying that at one of her live events in Paris that I was at. And she said that how you do one thing is typically how you do everything. And when you start to be a godly feminine woman who is the woman of her own dreams, you position yourself differently. You show up differently. You show up to life differently, whether it's at your career, whether it's at home, whether it's your philanthropy efforts or whatever it is, you show up in a very different way to women who are trying to compete. So that's what I'm talking about today. The secret to being pursued, chosen, and remembered is that you need to know that you choose yourself first. This is the first thing. Choose yourself first. When you choose yourself first, then you already have this air of someone who's not to be messed with. You know, we all know those women who can't be messed with, who know who they are. They're so powerful, confident, and they don't care about how people view them, but they do things in their own light, their own steam, their own energy, and they kind of have this way about them, right? Like women who are really confident. You know, I was singing at a funeral. One of my cousins, her grandmother passed away. And so I went to help and support with my mum and dad. We went there and I was singing there, and I had a couple of people come up to me. And at this point, it's pretty much, it always happens. Okay. So they came up to me, and I am not like the most amazing singer in the world. And this is what is important here. They came up to me, and a couple of people said, and this happened more than once today, you know, when I was singing at this funeral, and they said that there's something about you that is really, really, like, you are so beautiful and your voice is beautiful. And the funny thing about it is, like I said, like I do a lot of singing, and I have a lot of friends who are singers and musicians, and they're all like super amazing and whatever. And so honestly, every time it was said, I said, thank you so much. But inside of me, something clicked, and I was like, this is who you get to be. Because even though you may not be the most beautiful woman in the room, you may not be the most talented woman in the room, it's never going to be about that. It is actually about knowing your own energy and using that in order to draw people in, being confident in the skin you were born in, that God has actually created you for such a time as this, knowing that I am the woman of my own dreams. And if any of this is resonating with you, I would love to see some hearts, some comments, just let me know that what I'm putting down, you are absolutely loving and adoring. And as I said, I do have a 21-day experience that's going on right now called Magnetizing March. It's only $27, and we're dropping some very powerful things in there. There's audios, there's prompts, there's activations. It's a super powerful experience for the ladies out there. So if you're interested, it is $27. And also, I don't know if I can write on here. Let me see. This is I don't know how to use TikTok. Anyway, never mind. You can join us. We've already started, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so the best part about there is something about those type of women that I was just sharing about. All right. Women who are pursued, deeply chosen, and unforgettable do not move like everybody else. There's something about them, and you feel it before they even speak, and you notice them before they even try. And this is something that is super powerful. And the best part about it is it has nothing to do with looks, age, or luck. They're not just lucky, although I do like the affirmation. I'm so lucky, like I'm so blessed. There's nothing that I can, nothing, everything in my life goes perfectly, things like that. But the best part of it, it is not because they're born with it. It is not because they have perfect lives. There are so many seasons of my life that have been far from perfect, but yet I remember the passage in the Bible that says that he gives us beauty for ashes. God will turn around your story and make it for his glory, regardless of how terrible it might feel in the moment. Know that there's greater for you. That's just for free. I just dropped that in because that dropped in my spirit. I just wanted to drop that in for those of you who needed to grab that. And it is not because they have perfect lives. Like I said, it's not because they have perfect lives or are born with it. It is because they move differently. And sometimes you can wonder, and let me know if you've ever wondered this, and you can definitely, drop some emojis for me in the chat to let me know that you're listening and you're engaging. Because also when you drop some comments for me, that also helps the algorithm. So more and more people will be able to join us, and then my message can be shared far and wide. Actually, I forgot to put this into my channel. So let me do that now. There we go. Live now. Just give me 1 second. Done. Okay. So most women end up doing too much and they wonder why they're feeling exhausted and unseen. Raise your hand if you've ever done that. Raise your hand if you've ever been exhausted from doing too much and wondering, why am I so exhausted, when you've been exerting your pressure, exerting your energy in ways that you didn't need to. They try to prove that they are the one instead of moving like they already are. Maybe you try to talk too much, you text too much, explain too much, when silence is what makes you unforgettable. A woman who knows her own energy, this is what you got to understand. And oftentimes there is this, I guess, temptation to want to over explain because we want to be loved. We want people to hear us. But when you know that you're already loved, you're already chosen, you behave and act really differently. Sometimes you might chase connection, you chase relationships, you chase men. I see you. Instead of sitting back and letting what is meant for you move towards you. And this is what I want you to understand today. Women who are deeply pursued, fully chosen, and never forgotten, they move without doubt. You must move and shift things in your life so much that you have no doubt. You need to have no doubt that all things are working together for your good and that God is going to make sure that everything works out in the end. One of my favorite sayings is that everything always works out in the end. If it's not working out, it's not the end. Like the fact is that you have an opportunity even right now to change the way that your life happens for you. You have the opportunity to make different decisions, different choices, go down a different path. So why not go on this path of becoming magnetic? Why not go on this path of knowing who you are and owning it? This is what it is, owning it. And here are some other negative things that people might do. And maybe you see yourself in what I'm saying as well. Let me know. Don't forget to comment and let me know if you see yourself in what I'm saying here today. Sometimes you chase connections, you chase relationships, but this is what I need you to know. Moving without doubt means that we don't have fear of the future. There's a verse in Proverbs that says, she laughs without fear of the future. And not because she knows everything, but because she's aware of her own presence and her own power. When you're aware of your own presence, your own power, you know that your presence is expensive. Do you know, And I'm going to get a little preachy just for 1 second. Jesus thought you were worth dying for. He paid the ultimate price for you to know your worth. So for every woman that's watching me and every man who supports women in your life, you have to know this. You must know this, because this is how you are going to be remembered. I told you I was at a funeral this morning that I was singing at, supporting some family members. And the way that she was remembered, one of the things they said about her was this idea of her being a rebel, her being someone, hey Rose, of her being the kind of woman that always reinvents herself. And when you reinvent yourself in a way that your past does not define you, your past does not define you. It does not change who you are unless you let it change you. So here's this. Those kind of women who are always chosen, never forgotten, they don't worry if they're good enough. They're not concerned about being good enough. And they don't seek permission to be adored. Some of you are waiting for permission. Some of you are waiting for that man that you're dating or living with to propose. That man, you're waiting for that man to propose to you or to show you that he loves you. And it's like, what are we waiting for exactly? It's not your job to prove to him anything. Your job is to be the woman of your own dreams and see what happens in your life. And then what we do is we realize that you've got to understand that you are already magnetic. And because those type of women know, the world adjusts. And I've seen this even happen in my own life, that the more that I level up, the more that I improve myself, the more that I step into the calling of myself, the right opportunities, the right connections, the right relationships, the right doors begin to come into my life. Because there's a realization of who you are. And this is why, and I mentioned this yesterday, where the scripture says that seek first the kingdom of God and all these things will be added unto you. A woman who's remembered knows this, that when I actually, what does seek first the kingdom mean? It means love, joy, peace, righteousness, and joy. That's what the kingdom represents. And when you are saying, God, like you're just saying, like, joy is what I have in my life, peace is what I have in my life, love is what I have in my life, then all the other things will be added. And most of the time we've got it wrong. We think that marriage is going to bring us happiness. We think if we have a baby, we'll be happy. If I buy a house, I'll be happy. Let me tell you something. I've had so many women in my programs and talking to me on the phone for our coaching calls, which, by the way, I do have coaching calls available. If you go to my link tree, you'll be able to see what I have available. And if you're on any of my socials, my DMs are open on TikTok as well, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. YouTube doesn't have DMs, but if you want to have a coaching call with me, I have availability at the moment. So you can message me and we can talk about doing that. And this is what we're talking about. The amount of women that I've had, as I said, speaking to on the phone, speaking to on social media, speaking to in person when I speak at events or I'm just at an event, who have bought all the things. They've been able to buy themselves a nice Birkin bag. They've been able to take themselves on a holiday. They've done all the things. They've they thought that maybe when they had a baby, they'd feel fulfilled, and it didn't happen. They thought that when they got married to this man, their life would suddenly be magically like so much better. And it didn't happen, because when you look for happiness outside of yourself, everything is going to fall short. A woman who's connected to her feminine energy, connected to God, knows who she is, knows that I am the door. What you got to understand is this, and I don't know if I can really, how else I can explain it. Jesus says that, you are the light of the world. You are a city on a hill. So therefore, the responsibility is on us to know who we are. So when I know I'm a light of the world, I'm a city on a hill, then I make sure that what I am displaying is magnetic. And these are the shifts that we're talking about inside of Magnetizing March. The link is pinned here. The link is pinned there. It's everywhere. So you need to join us, only $27. Let's move on a little bit, and then we're going to wrap this up. The women who are chased do less, but they hold more power, because the most magnetic woman does not work for connection. They don't flood people with messages. They don't perform for attention. They do not chase. They let everything in their life, men, money, divine opportunities, show up fully for them. And this is something that I've shifted in my own life. And it does make a big difference when you move from this space of I need this, I need that, to I already have it. I'm so like secure in what I have, and everything that has been given to me, I've been blessed with, is going to help me to become a better woman, and so on and so forth. And here's something you can even say to yourself: I don't beg, I don't prove, I don't push, I attract. I like that. I don't beg, I don't prove, I don't push, I attract. Simple as that. Because when you, let me get back to what I always say, when you know who you are, and my job is always to call you out of whatever you're in into the purpose that you were meant to live in. I don't care what it is. And if you notice, women who are deeply chosen as well, it's never about looking down on other women. You're welcome to choose whatever you want. If you desire that you want to be a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, you want to be in Forbes bestseller, you want to be a New York Times bestseller, you want to be a Forbes millionaire or whatever, all the different accolades, that needs to be your personal choice. We are women who move in certainty. Uncertain women question their worth. Magnetic women trust their presence. And when a woman trusts herself, anything, the world, an opportunity, a man will trust her too. Sometimes I wonder if you truly are aware of the power that you carry, because this is what has been given unto us. I wrote a song some years ago, and it says in the bridge, it says this: Christ has set us free to live a free life. So take a stand, take a stand. And the song is about power. Like it says, it's given us power to walk right and to live right, etc. But in the bridge, it says this: it's really important that you've got to know that you have been given freedom to take a stand. What are we taking a stand for? I'm gonna share the things that I'm taking a stand for. One of the things I'm taking a stand for is women being the women of their own dreams. I'm taking a stand for every woman operating in godly femininity. I'm taking a stand for seeing women understand that they need to know and have clarity on their own dreams that have been given to them by God, so that they can know what they can accept and reject. Chase, we accept or reject. And we also learn how to reject without killing a man's ego, without diminishing the opportunity, and without being negative. There's a difference, because if you're a woman who's able to do that, that shows a high sense of emotional intelligence. And you also understand that just because this person isn't for me doesn't mean they're a negative person or negative experience. It's about what I am receiving into my life. The women who are remembered make people feel something. You're feeling something by watching this live. You're feeling the energy of how I'm approaching this subject. You're seeing the woman right in front of you. Because the most magnetic women do not try to be liked. They don't overperform, over-explain, and this is a good one, or overthink. Some of you overthink. You overthink everything. You're thinking about, oh my gosh, did I send that text right? Oh my gosh, I wonder if he's going to like this dress. Oh my gosh, am I going to have enough money this month? No overthinking. Stop allowing yourself to get into that kind of mentality. And these kind of women who are remembered make people feel their presence so deeply that even when they leave the room, they are still on their mind. Isn't that powerful? That you can have left the room, left the situation, left the group chat, left the thing, and you're still being remembered. You're still on their mind. You can even affirm that today. I am the woman who's always on their mind. You're the first call of when something's needed, or, for your energy, for your conversation. And when you master this energy, let's talk about men for a second. When you master this energy, men just won't want to be around you. They will feel compelled to keep you. And this is not even about, oh, we're going to do this to keep a man. Like, this is not that kind of life. And if you've been here a little while, you'll know exactly the energy of what I'm speaking of today. But this only happens when you are clear on who you are and who you bring. You bring the energy of a queen. And inside our 21-day experience, we are talking about this. Magnetizing March is where we're going to master this. And you can join us. It's only $27. Yeah, I've pinned the links here on Instagram and TikTok. It's going across the front here on YouTube and Facebook. So if you want to go and join, I want to welcome you in, like literally right now. So if I see your email come in, we are going to celebrate like there's no tomorrow. Let me actually pull it all up so that I can see. So if you're coming in now, just seeing somebody's joined us. Okay. So if you're joining us, listen, I am excited for you. And I want to see, as soon as someone comes in, I'm going to celebrate you. I will not say your name because I know sometimes people like to be private. But as soon as you come in, I am going to be celebrating you. Let me go ahead and refresh my page one more time, see if anybody else has joined us, because I know that this is going to be such an amazing time. Let's go ahead. Let me just check real quick. I am unbelievably excited. I've just had like this best awareness and awaken of who we are and what it is that we've been called to do in this earth. Okay, so I created this challenge to take you from overgiving, overproving, and overchasing into the energy of the woman who gets everything without force, effort, or proving. So it's 21 days of activation. We're talking about soft power, effortless attraction. There's daily audios, there's embodiment exercises, and we're also in a private space, because sometimes the transformation needs to be done when we have the privacy in order to share what we need to share. And so I want to wrap up with a couple of biblical archetypes that can relate to this topic today. And so one of my favorites, I was reading about this and I really wanted to position this in a different way, is that when you know this, magnetic women do not shrink when things don't go their way. They trust the bigger plan. You've got to trust. You've got to hold on to trust and know that God will never let you fail. Because I have God within me, I cannot fail. And the more you realize that, is the more you're going to unlock the dreams and desires greater than your most unbelievable dream is what is going to happen in your own life. I've got Coco Chanel said once that a girl should be two things: who and what she wants. And I've got to agree with that, because you need to decide what you want. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom, then decide it. And that is what you only receive. If you want to go ahead and be a millionaire, then go ahead and decide it. If you decide that you want to rise to the top in your chosen career field, then do that. If you want to grow your ministry, then do that. Whatever it is that you desire to do, all I want you to do is to commit to whatever it is that you are deciding to do. And so here is a story that we probably don't know that much about, which is a story of Tamar in Genesis 38. And this is going to be super key for some of you listening. Tamar was a woman who was promised something and denied it. She was supposed to marry the next heir after her husband died, but Judah, her father-in-law, refused to fulfill the custom. So instead of shrinking back, she used strategy to claim what was rightfully hers. She disguised herself, she orchestrated the situation, and put herself in the exact place to get what she had been promised. And whilst it will be unconventional, if you read the story, it's a little bit X-rated, Genesis 38. The story is quite wild, actually. Not something I would recommend, but it also lets me know that even the most unconventional story, where we put ourselves in the most ridiculous situations, everything can still work out in her favor. She actually manipulated the situation, dressed like a prostitute, so that her father-in-law would be tempted by her, and then he slept with her, and she got pregnant. Now, obviously, I don't recommend the choices that she made. I don't recommend doing that. But what I will say is that it goes to show that even when we put things into our own hands and we decide we're going to do this, we're going to help God out, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, your it's going to be okay. Oh my gosh, just seen that you've joined. Yay, welcome into Magnetizing March. Woo! So good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, another lady has joined. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. And this is what I'm talking about. When you put yourself in a position and you say, I'm doing it. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. In this story of Tamar, she did not accept being overlooked. She said that I'm not going to accept it. That even though you're going to say, oh, I didn't sleep with you, I didn't do this. She was like, you are going to give me my inheritance. She wasn't able to get married again. And in those times, women had to be married in order to be safe, especially as they move into adulthood. This was the only way they could secure a future and so on. And obviously, things are different now, but not that different in terms of the choices that we make and what happens when we elevate our lives. So anyway, back to Tamar, or Tamar, however you want to pronounce her name, in Psalms, the book of Psalms 38, verse 26. And so she disguised herself and used the strategy to claim what's already hers. Three things I want you to learn from the lesson of Tamar before we wrap up today. She did not accept being overlooked. Some of you, you're so easy to give up. And this is where the difference is. The energy is not in striving. It's not in forcing things. But what it is you hold on to the affirmation. So you don't necessarily do this striving in energy, but you have this like knowing like everything's going to work out. Everything's going to work out for my good. I know everything's going to work out for my good. In this lesson, Tamar moved with wisdom and precision, and she ensured that what was hers did not pass her by strategically putting herself in position. And so magnetic women do not sit back and hope things will work out. We position ourselves for divine favor. And that is what we need to be doing, positioning yourself for divine favor. You are being positioned for divine favor. There is a level of magnetism that can only be increased. We turn the dial up on who we are. We turn the dial up on our uniqueness, our authorities, our authenticity. Let me share one more story, and then we are going to go ahead and close. I made a video yesterday that's on YouTube that you can go ahead and watch the replay of, where I talked about, I can't remember what we talked about, but maybe I mentioned Abigail another time. But anyway, Abigail in the Bible is one of my favorites. I'm going to end with this. Abigail. Okay, Abigail in the Bible. So 1 Samuel 25. I'm going to end with this. And David said to Abigail, "Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, who sent you this day to meet me. Blessed be your discretion, and blessed be you who have kept me this day from killing." Basically, that's what she did. So basically, Abigail was married to Nabal. The Bible says he was a foolish and reckless man. When Nabal disrespected David, Abigail moved quickly and wisely to protect her household. Let me tell you what this woman did. She went out to meet David herself. She bought him some wine. She bought him some servants, and she bought him something to eat. This isn't about cooking, guys. This is about her knowing what a man is looking for. And she was married at this time. And when she went out there and spoke to him with grace and power, and obviously the Bible says she was beautiful, so looks do matter. And she prevented destruction of her land, her household. What was the result? David was captivated by her wisdom. She didn't say too much. She didn't say too much. She didn't do too much. But who she was enough in the moment. So much so that David recognized her power, her influence, her intelligence, and obviously her beauty. And after Nabal died, David heard, and he said, "Go get Abigail." And she became wife to a king. Do you see that? It reminds me of the saying that says, like, don't let your boyfriend keep you from your husband, that type of thing. But she was already married. And then when her husband died, she was able to go with David. She used wisdom, not emotions, because it was an emotional situation. David was ready with his sword to go and kill the whole household of Nabal and everyone around. But through Abigail's soft nature, she used her soft power, her feminine energy, her wisdom of knowing how to deal with her husband. The Bible says that Nabal was a foolish and reckless man. Have you ever been with or dated a reckless man? I'm not going to tell any personal stories, but yeah. Sometimes men can be, volatile, or people say that women are the emotional ones, but actually men who are powerful sometimes can move with emotion. Sometimes. And it's up to us to be like, hey, Rein it in just a second. Hey, babe, you okay? Do you need something to eat? That's literally what Abigail did. Do you need something to eat? I'm so sorry. Would you like a drink? Are you okay? Do you just need someone to listen? Like, what's all this energy? Abigail did that. And she was appropriate for, she didn't be over familiar. She wasn't overdoing it with David, but she did just enough that he would remember her, that as soon as he heard her husband died, he said, before anyone else takes you as their wife, I am going to snap you up. Listen, even back in the day, as you hear, men who wanted to be married got married. It's very simple. Anyway, that's another subject for another day. So what are the key lessons we can learn from Abigail in this situation? Is that she used wisdom, not emotions, to navigate the high stakes. She commanded respect even from a future king. She recognized something in him. And here again, ladies, this is really important. When you are magnetic, a magnet can still attract things that it wasn't meant to attract. We put magnets on the fridge. We use magnets on our bags. You know, when your bag closes, and that's a magnet. But other things will connect to it. Maybe your hairpin or a safety pin can connect to it, but it can't stay because it's not meant for it, right? So when you are magnetic, you will still magnetize all and anything, but now you have the power to choose. She moved with elegance and strategy and was elevated because of this. And this is my final thing I want to say. This kind of woman, a high caliber, wise woman, high value, whatever you want to say, does not move recklessly. She moves with intention and wisdom. So my question to you today, are you moving with intention and wisdom? In this month of March, every day, not every day, for 21 days, and I started this morning, started today already, you will get audios from me, daily embodiment tips, activations, and more. I'm pretty much like giving you so much because I know what it's like to not have anybody help you or share things with you. And so if you're interested, the links are everywhere. They're pinned here, they're on the screen here on Facebook and YouTube. Join us in this situation. Join us inside of Magnetizing March. And I'll be back tomorrow. I'm probably going to go live every day just because I'm loving it right now. So I'll probably see you tomorrow going live. And for those of you who are watching, who are in my Facebook group, I would love if you could come in my Facebook group and just share what you got from this. Or if you're already in Magnetizing March, tell us why you've joined, because what that does is it increases the energy of it. It also helps for more women to come on in with us as well. All right. So God bless everyone. We are going to end the stream here. And I pray you have an amazing, amazing, amazing day. Bye-bye, everyone. Yay. Bye-bye.